There are a couple of challenges, some facing businesses specifically in Ghana. One is access to early stage capital. So I'm very fortunate that I'm coming from the US, where we have early stage capital and we have pitch competitions that give away free money so that we could actually get a product out into market before we had to take any dilutive funding. But for your average entrepreneur in West Africa, you have to have a side hustle, have a day job, and be investing that. And that means that you're going to move pretty slowly. And it also means that somebody who is more well-financed can come in and quickly take over the market. So I think that's a primary challenge. A more specific challenge for the fintech industry is because we're pushing the envelope on the different financial products and services available to consumers, we can sometimes be in front of the regulatory bodies. So for example, I'd much rather be in a clearly regulated industry where I know this is a license I need to get to start operating than being somewhere in a gray area where maybe not even the regulator is sure where exactly you fit. Because uncertainty, I think, is more harmful to an early stage startup than just something costing more necessarily. But I'm excited because Bank of Ghana just came out with a sandbox environment. So we're following in the footsteps of innovative countries like Kenya so that business owners or startup can actually start to test and try new things and then figure out the regulation in hand with the regulators.
And I would also like to add on to her point and say that also education, the work that Megan's company is doing is really quite big, because education for educating a small business on exactly why or what it is that you need for you to actually have access, to finance or to build credibility is also quite a challenge. When we started, the market couldn't really understand, first of all, who they can go to access finance. So they're not aware even of the other fintechs, other options in the market apart from the banks that are rejecting them. Mm-hmm. And when you ask them why the bank's rejecting you, all they'll tell you is they want too much documentation. And we're like, okay, let us look into what it is this too much is and what works for you as a startup and what works for what works for you as an SME and what works for our requirements as a startup to make sure that we meet a level ground. And you'd find that the basics, like your company incorporation document or even having an incorporated company, does not really, what was not top of the mind, top of their mind as a startup owner, or even how they transact. They do know that, yes, at the end of the month, I know that there's 2,000 CDs, or in this context, maybe $400 coming into my store, but they don't really know how and when. They don't know, they don't really record such. So it makes it difficult for a lender to really see you as attractive or deem you fit. And it also makes it difficult for you as a business owner to actually monitor your transactions. So a bit of education on, financial management and proper recording was required.
One of the major challenges we face is also educating our customers, because we're a B2B2C business, on what wage access is all about. And there's a sort of a reluctance among employers to get involved in their employees' financial lives. But the truth is, what we're trying to explain is the link between financial resilience and financial wellness with productivity and attendance, which directly affect the business's bottom line. And so when you start to have this conversation with businesses, this type of technology is one of the most impactful employee benefits to come, since offering health insurance and things like that. So businesses are very prepared to spend on employee benefits, and it's up to us to educate them on what impact this type of thing can have. And also the acknowledgement among businesses that about 80% of South Africans, for example, resort to payday lending, and that they're paying like ridiculous APRs on those types of loans. So education is a big part of what we have to do in our sales process.
Okay.